We tell them we're the only independent masjid left in the United States, right? So what do? What do? They're gonna raid the masjid, right? And I'm saying, no, y'all can't come in. They raid, they gonna do what they wanna do because it's all of them and me by myself. I'm not gonna go get anybody. I've never went and got anybody. Because if I did, except for one time, if I did, when I had other people there, I wrote these notes just like this. I said, well, we're gonna have a big show. We're gonna have Cracker Jacks and stuff like that. And we're gonna have a big show. Then they came full force. They thought we was gonna be armed. I said, nobody can be armed. You can't be armed. So pretty soon, they did this and did that, then they run off. And the police blocked the street so they could get away. The lady up the street say, why they bring guns to your church? I said, it looked like the police blocked the way so they could run away. I said, yes, they did. Okay, so now we can go, those people still live right up the hill. Whenever we want them, we can go get them or find out where they at. Okay, so let's see. The other thing they think is like, when we would go over to Dar Hijra or something and pass out, whatever we pass out. And I would go over there at night and Okay. We go down to CARE, do a few programs down there. I used to go down to Chinatown, what's that, where the stadium is, the plaza, whatever that thing is down. And Gramercy, Gallery Place right down there, okay. So, I used to go down there, our brother Tufel and I would go down there a few times, give out some CDs and just say a few words. The programs we did during Black Lives Matter, we might have did 4 or 5, maybe 6 at the most, right? Okay. Then we did one over there. So the government looked at that and they said, he didn't turn into a sprinter, not a long distance man, because they just go out and they get tired and come back. Then when I go home at that time, now I know I'm being watched, I would just lay down every day. What is that? That's a discombobulator trap. Because they're going to look at me and say, that's his pattern now. Remember, boss man, the reason he getting whooped so bad is the distance. He's used to hitting everybody and they drop. He's the one that can't go the distance. So now, we revved up now. I don't lay down none now. I don't do nothing now but this stuff right here. Why? Because that's the Negrodiscombobulator trap. And they don't know that I'm trapping them until I come right here and I tell the boss man, I said, I told y'all all the time, 95% of ability is stick ability. And you saw my writings, I told you how clear things looked, and I'm ready for this one. 500 rounds. That's what I don't know if you remember that. I said 500 rounds. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Excuse me. You can go and pray. You can go and pray You can go and pray and then you could leave because we're doing a thing right here. You can go and pray and then you can leave. You know, like bye-bye, leave. Because we're doing a thing right here. You can pray. Allahu Akbar. Just like that. Go and pray. Then after you pray, zoop. All right? Huh? After you pray, yes ma'am. Then you can go. Because we're doing this right here. And we're saying it so people will understand that we go through this. This ain't nothing new for us. We go through this all the time, and it's one of those phases. So this is a phase where we're saying, pray and bye-bye. We got the flu going around. It ain't the flu, whatever it is. And so we don't want to give it to you. We don't want you to give it to us, although there's other reasons. Anyway, see, what we've been doing then and now is a total discombobulator. Right now, I mean today. Today, it's a discombobulator. If they think that we was going to just let them do anything they wanted to do, or that we was going to close up shop, or we're just going to depend on them, we've told people for months, we like your help, we need your help, we'd have a good time, but we're not going to wait on that. Then soon, next few days, we're going to be out. I may not hardly ever be here. I'm going to be out and around in everybody else's spot. Yeah. Why? Because they thought we was going to sit here and wait for Negroes to come and help. We would have been in a lot of trouble. You know, we'd still be back in 1969 waiting on Negroes to help. No. Absolutely not. But we're not against our people. We're for them. We're not going to wait on them. So, let's see. A few things, excuse me if I jump a little bit, but here's a few things we're going to do. In our case here in Oakland, it's going to be legalism in a professional way. You know, like we're fighting our own case, but we're going to do this in a professional way. It's going to be a surprise. They're going to say that nigga is using all of what he know in the history of the court system and this, that, and the other, and with a big smile and know how to talk to the jury. Yeah, they're going to get a big surprise. Okay. Musa, Trump. About our brothers, we said, when we was talking about untouchables, all of those brothers watched that movie, Scarface. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've seen parts of it.
No. They set up everything. If Scarface could do it, we could do it. Everything. They all mention the movie. Yeah. Over and over again. Scarface. You know, so, you know, Superfly and all those other movies, they have a big effect. That's right. Don't make me get up from here now. Are you going to pray?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah. Just go on and just give it a shot. See what you can do. Where was I at? Police, CIA, FBI, NSA. They're here to control and regulate drugs, not to stop drugs. The amount of drugs consumed in the USA and in the world is unbelievable. All of the stop the drug organizations are not here to stop drugs. They're here to regulate and control drugs and their distribution. Okay, now all of this stuff that's happening here and around the world and with us is in spite of all of their organizations and all of their groups and everything. In spite of that. Okay. So they have think tanks. We all know they have think tanks. So we have to have an idea of what the think tank is thinking about. And we have to research, like they have people that feed those think tanks. Some of them are like Daniel Pipes, Steve Emerson, and Abe Foxman, those people. Okay? They feed those think tanks. So what they feed the think tanks respond to what they done told them. So we have to give Steve Emerson, we have to give Abe Foxman, we have to give all the Daniel Pipes and them everything they need to feed them. So we know what we feed them, they're going to feed to the people. Their understanding of it. You see what I mean? What I'm trying to say is we're in charge of 80% of what goes on. We are in charge of it. We are right here in charge. 80% of the stuff that go on, that's not bad. And that's not bad when the government is used to killing Negroes on the spot, turning them into drug addicts, turning them into prostitute chasers and all of that. That's what they do. Suppose they can't do none of that with you. None of it. Then their hands is tied because the shaitan uses certain things. If he can't use those things, he's just whistling Dixie. He's just whistling because you're not paying no attention. Therefore, and then he can try to mislead you, you mislead him. You just think about the stuff that go on around here. We don't respond to nothing but what we want to respond to. Because 95% of ability is stickability. The long range, protracted, that's all the language we've ever used. And the saddest thing is our brothers. Our brothers, the brothers get wiped out. When you see it and you hear it, you say, man, and the death rate amongst our people associated with the poison that they put in our neighborhood. Very few people, all our brothers right now, if they listen to this, they say, oh yeah, I never thought about it like that. But they're not thinking about it like that. The only one it is, he said, I don't want to, hey man, this is dangerous. It's dangerous. You know, to say that boss man gave us those and put it in our hand and had us killing ourselves and killing each other and destroying our community for the third go-round. Because the first go-round was the 60s and early 70s. Bam, over. Then the next go-round is get the people back that's got all that money living in the hills. And here they come with its first free base. That's why Richard Pryor and Natalie Cole, all the Hollywood scene, all those were big folks that got over. Same thing with the drug dealers. All the drug dealers, if you would have seen it, you would say, man, them niggas was big. They was flamboyant, but they didn't build. They wasn't thinking. They just wasn't thinking because that's all they had been raised to think. They had been shown that's the life. They wasn't movement orientated. So they wasn't thinking like me. If we was put in a lineup, we would look the same. We would look the same. The cars we drove was the same. The same. But they was not thinking. When I walked into one of them joints during those days, and everybody blowing and stuff, I'd say, man, if these guys was from somewhere else at a different time, they would have been, I use the word captains of industry. That's an old term. But they would have been big. And they were smarter than the captains of industry. They had it all, but they wasted it away. The system harnessed it. They gave them a picture of what they should look like, what they should be like, what they should do, and their lifestyle. They did not self-define themselves. They thought they were self-defining themselves. I'm a Mac, I'm a this, I'm a that. No. The white man gave them their name, their nomenclature. He taught and trained them how to be. Now